Hey everybody, Captain Lou here with another edition of Tigers Daily in partnership with Fan Arts Network. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel here on Tigers Daily. You get all of our great programming, all of our updates every day, the good, the bad, everything in between. We have all of our rumors, the trade rumors, you name it. We talk about the game the night before. Who could be going where? Are the Tigers buyers? Are they sellers? Are they legit for another run, maybe to a playoff spot? We talk all about it right here on Tigers Daily. We give you our fan opinion, and we'd love to hear from yours. So, again, thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel for those of you that already done it. And for those of you that haven't, we invite you to subscribe. It's the best way to hear a fan's perspective of the Detroit Tigers. Happy Tuesday, everybody. July the 14th, 2026. And again, it's Happy All-Star Game Day, live from Philadelphia. 3 Tigers in the mold tonight on the field, potentially. Riley Green, Dylan Dingler, and of course the rookie phenom for the Tigers, Kevin McGonigal, the odds-on favorite, or at least the leader right now in the clubhouse for Rookie of the Year in the American League, and of course the Legends pick. He's going to be retiring at the end of the year. We've talked about it. Justin Verlander. He's going to be there as well tonight for the Detroit Tigers. We'll talk about that a little bit later on here in the show. Well, as we like to do at the All-Star break, this is the unofficial, the traditional halfway point in Major League Baseball, although the Tigers have played 96 games. They got 66 games left in the regular season. So this is where you kind of it's another quarter pole, if you will, either this or the 4th of July. But the Tigers right now, the scenarios, wild card and the divisional standings. In the division, the Tigers, yes, they're 6.5 games out, dropping 2 straight to the Phillies. It kind of hurt the Tigers. They had the lead down to 4.5, or that was their deficit anyways. But now they lost those last 2 to the Phillies. Back to a 6.5 game deficit between both the White Sox and the Guardians. The Twins are hanging in there as well. They're only 3 games out at first. So the Tigers have some ground to make up in the American League. But how about the wild card standing? This is where it gets so interesting in the American League because of the lethargic play in the American League, to say the least, to be nice about it. Some would say it's pathetic. I'd be right there with them. When have you ever heard of a playoff spot being held this late in the season by a team 2 games under 500? It reminds me of the 1970s in the NBA where teams were getting in with 12 games under 500 records. Well, in this pace right now, anything could happen. So yes, the Tigers are still in the running for a wild card spot, only 3.5 games out. They would have to climb over 7 teams. The Twins and the Mariners right now hold that final wild card spot. They're tied for it. The Yankees have the top spot, and then the Guardians right now, based on a tiebreaker, have the second wild card spot, them being tied with the White Sox. You've got like I said, the Mariners and the Guardians, and then you've got the Red Sox nipping at their heels. You've got the Twins, as I mentioned. You got the Baltimore Orioles. You got the Houston Astros. Then you've got the Tigers. Then, of course, you've got right behind them, you've got the Royals and the Angels. So everybody's mathematically in it right now for the Tigers. It's just, or for the American League, rather, for the wild card. So, yeah, this is, it's a unique situation. 8 games under 500 for the Tigers to be in any kind of a race. You would think maybe at this time of the year they would be just looking to dump all kinds of salary, some big contracts, maybe get some future considerations, whatever. But now they're in a conundrum here. We're going to talk about that momentarily. A quick look at Major League Baseball with the standings, as we mentioned. In the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays 3 games ahead of the Yankees in the East. Then you've got in the West, Texas now with a 1.5 game lead over the Seattle Mariners. So 5 teams right now in the American League out of 15 are over 500. And 3 of those teams are only 2 games over 500. I know it sounds pretty paltry, but that's indeed what it is. In the National League, in the East, the Atlanta Braves, they've got a lead now of just 2 games over the Phillies. The Phillies able to make up ground, taking 2 out of 3 from the Tigers this past weekend at Comerica. And probably the surprise team of all of them in Major League Baseball right now, how about the Miami Marlins? 7 games over 500, not expected to be anywhere close to a playoff spot, let alone the division. They're 4 games out of first in the American League East, or the National League East. They'll be a fun watch to see if they can hold on and keep it going through the dog days of August. In the Central Division in the National League, you've got the Milwaukee Brewers with a 5-game lead over the Cubs, and 8.5 over the Cards, 9.5 over the Pirates. They're all over 500. And in the National League West, the Dodgers were 16 games up at one point over the Padres. Now the lead is down to 11.5, and that lead was only about 2 weeks ago, maybe even not even that far. Now it's down to 11.5 over the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then the San Diego Padres are 12.5 back. Those teams are at or above 500. So very interesting scenarios. And we mentioned the Tigers only 3.5 games out of the wild card. They've got a very, very winnable stretch here coming up after the All-Star break. We mentioned it last night. They open up after the break out on the road in Anaheim against the Angels. Angels' worst team right now in Major League Baseball, or at least in the American League. Then they've got to go to Chicago for 3 against the Cubs. That's going to be a toughie. No doubt about it. The Cubs are playing really good right now. Then they start a homestand, 4 with Kansas City. Then they've got 3 with Baltimore. Then they go back out on the road for a West Coast swing, but they start wherever the Athletics are playing, Sacramento, Vegas, wherever, Rancho Cucamonga. But they've got to set there right through till the trade deadline. So there's an opportunity again. That's a 16-game stretch right there. And as crazy as it sounds, the Tigers really legitimately have a chance to go 11-5. That might sound optimistic, but with these teams, it's possible. 10-6, 11-5 would keep them right in the mix, staring at Seattle on Monday, August 3rd, with that trade deadline looming. So many things to keep an eye on. So yes, the Tigers, they've got a legitimate shot. They're not out of it by any stretch. Any team can get hot in the American League right now, and they can make hay, and they go on a run, they're going to be in the playoffs. And then after that, all bets are off. A pitching staff gets hot, who knows? So again, it's very interesting to see. Now, with that comes the Tigers, the situation they're in. We like to talk about what are they going to do at the trade deadline. By now, again, normally when you're 8 games under 500, you think, all right, we're going to be sellers. Time to dump any expiring contracts or whatever. We've got no shot. Well, it's so much different this year with the Tigers as a 3.5 game deficit looms for them in the wild card. 6.5 in the Central. That's still not out of the realm of possibility. It's going to be tougher because, it is 6.5 games. But are they going to be a buyer? Are they going to be a seller? And this is kind of what an interesting situation it is with Jack Flaherty. I mean, he's pitched well. He's on the last year of an expiring contract. Detroit's been pitching very, very well as of late. At least the starters have, right? They've got Kiter Montero that they're putting in relief right now. They'll probably potentially go to a 6-man rotation because they don't have any days off after the All-Star break for a while. So it could come in handy. But let's say the Tigers are there right now. We've lamented about the lack of hitting, the lack of bats that the Tigers have right now. I mean, yeah, they've got Riley Green, Kevin McConaughey, and Dylan Dingler. They're reliable. I would call Kerry Carpenter reliable, but A.J. Hinch doesn't trust him against left-handed pitching. He just loves to platoon him. And then right now, Spencer Torkelson, I don't care what you say, Torkelson is a bust right now. So Detroit needs a right-handed bat. And I think this would be a good trade for the Tigers when we talk about maybe Flaherty going to the Anaheim Angels for Joe Adell. Now, Adell's got some pop in his bat, and that's what they need from the right-hand side of the plate. Odell right now, he's got 13 home runs and 53 RBIs at the break. 2 years ago, he hit last year, he hit 37 home runs for the Angels. The year before that, he hit 20. He's on the last year of an expiring contract, $5.2 million. This could be somebody and he's only 27 years old. They could keep him. I think this would be a great trade for the Tigers. But it serves as kind of a either-or scenario. That's what I really love about this trade possibility. Flaherty for Adell rather. And I know and again, I want to apologize. I keep pronouncing his name, Tarek Skubal. We all know he's on everybody's wish list, but he's not going to go to the Angels if he is traded. But I think this would be a good scenario. Flaherty, he's going to be on an expiring contract. I don't see him coming back to Detroit next year. He won't take a pay cut to go to Detroit, I don't think. So here's something, and then you get a much younger player in Jo Adell from the Angels. I don't know. They may want more. It might be a pipe dream. Who knows? But it's kind of a neat scenario because the Tigers could be both a buyer and a seller with this scenario, getting Jo Adell from the Angels. Again, last year, 37 home runs. He's on pace to probably get 25 home runs, knock in about 90 runs. The pop from the right side of the plate that Detroit could definitely use. And they could fit him in anywhere in that lineup. You know, Zach McKinstry, I'm sorry, I love you, but you're a fellow CMU Chippewa. Just, no, I don't think so. So keep that in mind here with a trade scenario potential. It's kind of a unique thing with the Tigers in the position they're in. You don't know if they're going to be a buyer. You don't know if they're going to be a seller. So this is a good way to start. Just food for thought. I don't know. It's just fun to kind of throw a dart out there. That's all we're really doing, right? Looking for answers to try to get Detroit over the hump, to try to get them back into the playoffs. Whether they will make a long run or not, getting there is, again, they're relevant. And that's what we want right now with a team that's 8 games under 500. All right, last night's game was the Home Run Derby. How many of you watched the Home Run Derby? Full disclosure, I didn't. And I'll tell you why. It's got nothing to do with the rules. They've done it for 41 years now. I love the concept of it, right? And I get they've got to tweak it because this Home Run Derby used to drag on for hours. And I understand. I love the time limit aspect of it, but it frustrates me because Major League Baseball has made it so difficult for the Tigers, or for anybody, I should say, not just Tiger fans, anybody, to watch the games. It seems like whenever they get something good going, they make the tweaks. They do this to try to maybe improve it. They make it more difficult to watch. Netflix is where you had to watch it last night. And I'm sorry. It just wasn't worth it for me, the extra effort. I'm a baseball guy. I'm baseball purist. I don't know about that. I'm an old-time fan. Been watching the Tiger games since 1971. I vaguely remember the All-Star game at Tiger Stadium back in 71 when Reggie Jackson hit it out of the park or off the light tower, whatever it was. That was the All-Star game, not the Home Run Derby. But, I'm sorry. You can't keep making it more and more difficult for fans to watch it. Why isn't it on free TV? I know Major League Baseball is like every other entity in professional sports. They want to make as much money as they can. They want to spread it out to as many of the platforms as they can. Wherever they can find a buck, they're going to chase it, especially with the CBA expiring this year and the big potential of a lockout or a strike looming over their heads. But I don't think they signed this deal because of that. I know they get the opening game and they get the Field of Dreams. I could live with the Field of Dreams game being on Netflix. The opening game, wasn't happy about that, and I'm certainly not happy about this. This is the kind of exhibition that the young baseball fans love. Home run derbies. Everybody loves to see the home runs, right? They want to see the bright stars hitting the home runs. I know not a lot of the big names do it anymore because they say it ruins their, I don't know if it ruins their swing, but it ruins their mojo, it ruins their momentum, whatever. But you still have the future stars. A lot of them are the young guys that you don't get to see every day. And for guys like me who would casually watch it, I turn it on. But not when I've got to go to a Roku stick or a Fire Stick or whatever, and where you can't change the channel. Bottom line is it's too difficult to watch. And this is just the first. They're going to start, I guarantee you, especially when the new CBA is done next year, they're going to make it so we're going to get playoff games on Netflix or Apple TV Plus or whatever, Prime Video. Don't be surprised if the All-Star game goes that route. It's horrible. I mean, I know I'm old-fashioned and maybe I got to get off my lawn, whatever. Old man, get off your lawn. But doing this is just another example of Major League Baseball not being able to get out of their own way when it comes to having everybody take in baseball, the grand old pastime, the nation's pastime. You wonder why football has passed you by. Basketball is on its way if it hasn't already. I mean, this is really, it frustrates me more than anything. You can probably see it. I don't like to get frustrated. I'm usually a pretty easygoing guy, but this really, it just rubbed me the wrong way. So pardon me while I vent. It just, when you've got, something like this, the home run derby with a chance for all the youngsters to watch it, make it accessible for everybody. You shouldn't have to pay a subscription to watch something like this. That's all I'm going to say. All right, tonight we mentioned it's the All-Star game. This is where the brightest stars shine, except for Shohei Ohtani. He hurt his knee. He's not going to be playing tonight. But we've got 3 Tigers on the All-Star game roster for the American League. Riley Green, Dylan Dingler, and the rookie phenom, Kevin McGonigal. In my eyes, I'm a little bit biased. The leading candidate right now for Rookie of the Year in the American League. The question is, are they going to play? How much are they going to play? Now, I know there's a rule that they want to get every team to have a participant, or on the roster anyways, but there's no rule that says they all have to play. Are you going to watch the All-Star game on Fox tonight? I will take it in a little bit. I'm going to hope to see a Tiger bat or two. I know that, again, this is like again, it's not like the old All-Star games, but at least it's on free TV. The pitchers used to go 2 to 3 innings. Every pitcher that pitched in this game until maybe the 8th or 9th inning went at least 1 inning. You're not going to see that tonight. You're going to see a pitcher come out to face one batter and get yanked. And now, again, it's just different in pro baseball as with other sports right now. The amount of money invested in these players, so they're going to look after their best interest. I think the most you'll see someone in the field maybe get 3 at-bats. Maybe. Then you're going to start to see the rotation of pinch hitters and whatnot. The managers will do their best. They won't get everybody in. And that doesn't bother me. To see them there in the lineup, to me, is good enough. I would love to see all 3 Tigers in it. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them is left out. It is difficult. But it's a spectacle. It's in Philadelphia tonight, just like the Home Run Derby was last night. It's on Fox, so at least it's free for everybody to watch of all ages. So yeah, I probably will be watching it. And then looking forward to what's up next for the Tigers starting Friday in Anaheim. What about you? What say you? Will you be watching it? Did you watch it? Would love to see your comments. And again, I love the comments that we have been getting over the past few days. And one of our viewers talking about he's been a Tigers fan since the 1960s, and that's great to see. I haven't quite followed him that long, but it's been a long ride. It's been a fun ride. And again, I appreciate all the comments, and we'll do a better job of answering some of those, like the talk about maybe Torkelson being one. Why is he still in there? And you're right, Torkelson, his ground into double play ratio is huge. He is a step slow. He's been a disappointment. The overall former number one pick for the Tigers, and AJ Hinch. I know I'm getting off on a tangent here, but AJ Hinch, he likes to platoon Carpenter. Why isn't he platooning Kerry Carpenter or Spencer Torkelson? This is why I go back to the potential of getting Joe Adell. Maybe they may want more than Flaherty. Who knows? But anyways, this is kind of a couple of the questions that we'd like to answer, and we'll get to all of those for our next show. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Tigers Daily. Enjoy the All-Star game tonight if you're going to watch it. And again, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Tigers Daily. You get all the great updates, all the latest rumors, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Until next time, Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. So long.